that being said, getting top dollar, right? So we are talking to a stager right now next to Sarah Walker, who is the owner of Riverlink Interior. And she's going to talk to us about, why you need to stage out, or also what's the latest trend in interior design. Hi, Sarah, how you doing?
Hi, Simon. Good. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So let's talk about it. You help us, stage some of the home that, we have on the market. What do you see? You see the difference, and I know does it worth people doing it?
100%. I'll share my screen in a few minutes and just kind of go into the specifics about how beneficial staging is and why it's so important, and what buyers and sellers both can get out of it. But absolutely, I think in the past it's always been associated with high-end real estate, but now it's so accessible that you see it across the entire marketplace.
That totally makes sense. Let's see what you have to share.
All right. All right. All right, so let me start at the beginning. All right, so staging to sell. What is staging? You guys talked about it. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but we don't see your screen. Sorry.
You're not seeing it? Hold on. How about now?
Perfect. Excellent.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right. So staging to sell. What is staging? So you talked about it a little bit, Simon, and for our purposes, staging is the preparation of a private residence for sale in the real estate marketplace. The goal of staging is to make a home appealing to the highest number of potential buyers to maximize profit and minimize time on the market. It can be transformative and make even the oldest homes look new. By highlighting a home's features, staging demonstrates its potentials to buyers. And really, it's all about buyers visualizing themselves in a home. So the benefits of staging. So as you spoke about early, both you and Shannon talked about, you only have one chance to make a first impression. And for 95% of buyers, that's online. So photographs, virtual tours, and videos are everything. The online experience will absolutely drive buyers to take the next step in making an appointment for a walkthrough. And since the start of COVID, more than 7 in 10 agents have found that videos and virtual tours are ever more important. Staging a home helps consumers see the full potential of a given space or property. It features a home in its best light. Take, for example, an open floor plan, and thankfully you kind of showed one in one of your videos, but a lot of buyers prefer open floor plans. However, if there is little to no furniture, potential buyers will often find it difficult to envision how and where to place the furniture or how to lay out a room. So this leaves room for the buyer to second guess a home, which could easily be avoided through staging. Staging also increases the sum buyers are willing to spend for a property. So according to the report by the National Association of Realtors, 23% of buyers agents said that home staging raised the dollar value offered between 1% and 5%. I personally think this is a little below or a little low. I think it can go upwards of 15 to 20% higher, especially in this marketplace. So this could be the difference of a few thousand to tens of thousands of dollars that sellers can end up leaving on the table. Also, 63% of agents say that staging decreases the time a house spends on the market. An increased amount of time on the market often makes buyers wonder what's wrong with the property. So you want to try to avoid that. And finally, these days, buyers expect it. Like I said earlier, although staging gained popularity in higher price listings, it's become more commonplace for all segments of the market. And the good news is it's accessible. So the amount of people offering these services has increased, whether it's a professional stager or just your realtor. Another interesting fact is the impact that like HGTV and other television shows that depict the home buying process. 61% of agents say that TV programs set higher expectations for how a home should look. And even 68% of buyers have reported being disappointed by how real homes on the market appeared compared to those on the television, which I thought was interesting. So a lot of people probably ask, wait, even in a hot market, why do we have to stage now? Buyers are coming in droves, houses are flying off the market. But it's especially important now. When a market is hot, buyers have a greater sense of urgency. This means they have to move quickly and they're more easily swayed by first impressions and emotions. Homeowners can use this to their advantage by staging their house. In a hot market, a stage home can attract multiple offers instantly after listing it. And if you really think about the math of the selling process, when the market is hot and buyers are paying top dollar, they're less likely to have money left over for renovations or repairs, right? So staging puts less weight on minor renovations or repairs that may come to light throughout the process. So if you hire a stager or your realtor does your staging for you, they will focus on the most cost-effective updates or repairs needed to show that your home is well worth the selling price. Prioritize. Where do you start? You can do a million things. I think we talked about curb appeal a little bit already. It's ever important based on that first impression, right? So nobody wants to see cracked front steps, a poorly painted front door, or an unruly landscape. Remember, you want your home to project a well-maintained vibe. You don't want buyers wondering what else hasn't been taken care of in this home. And if you have this space, an outdoor living space, especially in the times of COVID, can add a lot of value. Living room and kitchens are pretty self-explanatory. They're two rooms in which your average family spends most of their time. Kitchens are a high dollar renovation. And so even little fixes like the ones you showed in your picture, Simon, where you just put a nice coat of white paint on dark cabinets, can make buyers say, oh, we can live with this. It might not be our taste, but we can live with this until we can save the money for a renovation. And a living room that projects warm and cozy is always a winner. And then finally, obviously, the primary bedroom is an easy, low-cost room to deliver that wow factor. So tips for some successful staging. I'm just going to go through a sampling of areas to focus on staging in no particular order. And remember, the list is quite different for each property. First and foremost, selling a house and the process of moving can be an extremely emotional endeavor. And so our homes, hold a lot of memories, but remember, staging isn't personal. And I think Stacy touched on this a little bit. And it's also not interior design. So advice from a stager is not a personal affront to your style. It's merely an expert sharing advice to help maximize the selling process. And tactics used in staging are not necessarily those that would be used in decorating a forever home. Highlights and flaws. What do we do about those? You obviously want to highlight, your home's assets. So say you have a spacious live-in kitchen with a gorgeous fireplace, really highlight it, draw attention to it, lay out the room to maximize comfort. Highlight the fireplace so buyers can envision themselves gathering with their family or entertaining. On the converse, say you have a small kind of cold 3 seasons room, it's still square footage that you should be marketing. So make it feel like it's really part of the house. Some bright colored paint and updated flooring can make it easy enough to stage that space as a home office that many buyers are seeking these days. Let's see, this is obvious. We talked about, let's back up 1 second. So maximizing the flow and layout. So I think Tracy said this, how you would lay out a home for staging is not at all always how it's going to be laid out for living. So proper staging will make the home appear larger, but don't think that clearing out a room doesn't always make it seem bigger. It can actually make rooms appear smaller. So it always also makes it a case for staging new construction as well. And then on the other end of the spectrum, having too many pieces or oversized furniture can make a room feel cramped. And then we talked about, this is again, obvious and basic, removing clutter. I like to tell sellers to look at this as an opportunity to pre-pack. You have the benefit of cleaning out and packing up belongings for your impending move, rather than doing it all at once with the moving truck sitting at your curb. Paint, you touched on that. There's not enough that can be said about a fresh coat of paint. The right and wrong colors can evoke certain emotions. And I think what you're always looking for in picking paints for a staged home is calm, serene, and welcoming. So thinking neutrals, calm blues, and bright, clean whites. Lighting is also a huge component. Simply walking through a home that has recessed lighting and making sure all the bulbs are the right type of light bulbs, and that they're all uniform. The good news is that lighting is another aspect of staging that can be updated rather inexpensively. You can go to your local big box stores and find some new fixtures or updated fixtures. So again, if a room doesn't have the benefit of recessed lighting, ensure plenty of accent lighting around a room, coordinated table and floor lamps, and also remove heavy and dark window treatments for a more natural lighting.
Wow, those are really great tips, Sarah.
Yeah.
So let's say, you know, what are some of the current like interior design trend right now? Are you still seeing light color, and are you seeing any new trend? Like, is there what about the kitchen pole? Like, what are those looking like?
Yeah, absolutely. I will get back to that a little bit too, but yeah, you're still seeing neutral colors. I think we're moving a little bit farther away from the cool grays that have dominated the last decade. So you're seeing more colors in the family of grays, not your grandma's beige that have those heavy yellow undertones, but just warm colors. You're going to be seeing a little bit more, I think in interior design, you're going to be seeing more color in houses, like splashes and accents and all of that. But your basis for a room will generally continue to be more neutral. I think, yeah. So I think the big question that people ask oftentimes is, what can I expect to spend? It's really tough to monetize staging since it varies regionally and from home to home. But according to Home Advisor, the national average is around $1,500. That might be a little low in this area. But the good news is that you can do a lot of it yourself. You can do as much of it as you want yourself. If you're handy, you can paint. If you're not, you can hire your own painter and get competitive quotes. And of course, owners should and can handle the decluttering, personalizing, and moving out of stuff. Your real estate agent, many real estate agents, especially Simon and his team, really believe strongly in staging's ability to improve a home sale. So as a result, you will help, I know you personally, Simon, help clients prepare and stage the home before photographing it. You provide recommendations for how sellers can stage the home themselves, so little DIY for them. But I know that you personally are also really very hands-on in the process. You have a collection of contractors that you can easily pull from, who are basically at your beck and call, and home items. You have a good stash and warehouse of home items that you can share to spruce up a property. And then, of course, there's professional stagers, and I know that you and I partner together a lot. And I can get as involved or as uninvolved as an owner wants.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
I think the one thing I would also say is to plan ahead and spread it out, right? So I think if you're redoing a kitchen, if it's completely unavoidable to redo it, why not enjoy it for a couple of years before actually listing? I love what Shannon said about having a long-term plan, short-term plan, and midterm goals. So if you're thinking in the next couple of years that you're going to move, go ahead and spread out these updates. I think this also goes, and I learned this from you, Simon, is taking outdoor pictures. If you think you want to list your home in the early spring, talk to your agent about taking pictures in the summer or early fall when landscaping is more lush, right?
Yep.
So you asked about design trends. So we talked about warmer colors and all of that. We talked about COVID has more people working from home. Not all homes are equipped or have the space for a dedicated office. So finding ways to subtly incorporate offices into other spaces will continue to evolve. For example, I think formal living and dining rooms are a little bit of a thing of the past. And so owners are finding ways to make them flexible. So when they're entertaining and they have holidays at their home, they can use that space. But, for 75% of the time when they're not doing that, they can use the space as either a home office or a game room or something like that. I think comfort is,
yeah.
Go ahead.
So Sarah, that all makes total sense. Thank you so much for, sharing the staging and also the design trend.
Yeah.
What is the best way for someone to get in touch with you to just get a consultation from you, just so they get an idea what they need to do?
Yeah.
You want to share your number?
Sure. And they can always contact me through you as well, Simon. But we can be reached at riverlndesign@gmail.com. And my phone number is 773-495-7103.
Sarah, thank you so much for your time. This is such amazing information that you're sharing with us. All this numbers makes so much sense. So definitely staging your house is so important today. And we really want to get you the highest net value as possible. So again, Sarah, you've been great. We look forward to working with you more and continue working with you. All right?
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.